Hi, this is Laura Sweeney. I'm going to present the topic, a breakdown between a superior and a subordinate. The school administration was very strict about attendance, requiring teachers to sign in for each teacher meeting. After a few meetings, Sally noticed that the coaches, unlike teachers, did not attend or arrived late with no apologies or concern for the disruption. Sally liked her job, had many friends at work, and found the students behaved well in her class. Students seemed to be achieving enormously, as evidenced by their high test scores. Her pay, benefits, and vacation time were adequate. Yet, she believed coaches' absences were not in the best interest of the organization. We begin with the source, a person who has an idea, feeling, experience, etc., that they wish to share with another person. The source, as well as the other person, sends and receives messages, since communication is an interactive process. By Samovar, Porter, McDaniel, and Roy. Sally addressed the issue with the principal in private, but he did not take it very well. A communication breakdown resulted. The principal decoded her advice. However, the message was not interpreted in the manner that the sender, Sally, would have intended. According to Samovar and al., in this stage, the decoding process, the receiver attributes meaning to the behaviors generated by the sender. Both the principal and the teacher were angry at one another. DeVito, 2011, says that anger results from interpretations of events. The context in which one finds himself or herself impacts the communication. In this case, Sally was at school. Communication is contextual. Communication is part of a larger system composed of many ingredients, all of which must be considered, writes Samovar. The principal gave a negative response, accused her of being insubordinate, and Sally became so disgruntled she agreed on the spot to leave her job at the end of the year. The coaches felt overwhelmed by their coaching duties since football was a driving force at that school. These coaches probably valued their personal identities. Personal identity, according to Samovar et al., is what sets you apart from other in-group members and marks you as a special or unique. These markers may be innate talents. Sally could have used language and strategic planning to inspire their participation. First, Sally could have considered that communication is rule-governed. Samovar et al., 2013. As Samovar et al. Write, because you cannot directly access the internal thoughts of another person, you must rely on and interpret their use of verbal and nonverbal symbols to represent those thoughts. Even the principal identified himself as a coach, with winning as the major objective. Sally had never considered the importance of sports. She could only see the need to pass tests and impart subject matter information. By asking the coach's opinions on matters, both she and the principal could have encouraged them to attend the meetings regularly. As Samovar et al. Write, when communication rules are shared, the rules configure and orchestrate their social interaction in accord with these norms, and communication proceeds smoothly. These rules apply differently in accordance with the culture in question, and there is also American sportive culture. It is essential to be aware of your own culture's rules and how they might differ from the rules of the person with whom you are interacting. Samovar et al. Certainly, the principal could have handled the situation better by listening to Sally and finding a way to encourage involvement of both her and the coaches. He could have asked the coaches to lead some meetings because they tend to have leadership qualities. As Samovar et al. Write, because you cannot directly access the internal thoughts of another person, you must rely on and interpret their use of verbal and nonverbal symbols to represent those thoughts. Listening to others is essential to both communication and leadership. One of the great things about strategic communication is that one must plan well before conveying a thought or opinion. As Samovar et al. Write, messages produce a response in other people. Therefore, the interlocutor must see the world from the eyes of the receiver. Both the principal and Sally put their own needs and egos first rather than trying to see each other's perspectives. The principal and the teacher were afraid of losing control of the situation. Above all, Samovar et al. Remind us, objectivity requires that you approach each new situation with an open mind and avoid being too judgmental. Administrators and staff will benefit from opening their minds to others' ideas and from seeing others' viewpoints to facilitate communication. As DeVito reminds us, angry communication is not communication.